Hello.
Hi. Welcome to our podcast.
Young and Naive. I'm Anne-Marie Itamura.
And I'm Juniper Lewis.
And Juniper, what mistake have you made this week? Or rather, shall I say, today?
Oh, not just today. In the last 10 minutes. We record in a study room at one of our school's many lovely libraries that you need a student ID to get into. And I forgot my ID at home. So I tried to lie and pretend to use an old library card and say it was a school ID.
Okay, our school IDs have pictures on them, several. This library card has no images on it whatsoever. It looks nothing like our IDs except for the fact that it is mostly white.
Yeah. In all fairness, it has worked before.
Yeah.
But this time they made me, I had to lie and pretend that I had accidentally grabbed the wrong ID, which I didn't like. I don't like having to lie to people.
Say, was not that convincing.
I'm not an actor. I am. This is why I do podcasting and not theater. So they made me go get a day pass, and it was a little embarrassing.
It was, yeah.
It was really awkward. But tell me, what mistake have you made this week, Anne-Marie?
I honestly can't think of a mistake I made this week, and I'm sure there were many.
I do not doubt it.
A mistake my professor made this morning was my professor, not going to name names here, but is the most boring professor I have ever had in my life.
So not the hot one.
No, not even remotely. And the only reason people come to class is because he gives quizzes, and you never know when the quiz is going to happen.
Yeah.
So people will show up to Tuesday's class in hopes that there's a quiz so they don't have to show up to Wednesday's class. Or if there's not a quiz on Tuesday, you know you have to show up Thursday because there's going to be a quiz. Yeah. So today, like a dummy, he gives us a quiz and says, "Congratulations, this is your last quiz in this class," which just guarantees that no one is going to show up to an 8 a.m. lecture on Thursday, on their last day of school. So that was a mistake he made.
Ouch. Oh.
Yeah, because immediately in my mind I was like, I'm not going to class.
Yeah, you're not going, are
No.
you? Because I know you also skipped class yesterday.
You know what? My mistake, yes I did, my mistake was signing up for an 8 a.m. lecture. Okay?
That is a mistake. Actually, you know, I've only ever taken one 8 a.m. class here, and I loved it. It was such a good class.
Okay.
Shout out to that awesome professor.
That you can't name.
That I can't name.
Okay. So, what mistakes have you made? Just think about it.
Yeah, take a moment. Look and close your eyes. Close your eyes.
And then learn from those mistakes. Don't announce when you're going to have a pop quiz.
Yeah. Don't forget your ID card at home.
Just be honest.
Be
honest with people.
Don't lie about who you are.
Okay.
But today we are going to talk about who we are, and we promise not to lie because we're going to tell you about our childhood best friends, which kind of involves telling you about who we were as children.
Yes.
Anne-Marie, would you like to start?
I'll start. I recently was talking about this story from my childhood best friend, or about me and my childhood best friend when we were must have been like first grade, and we were at my house and we had just watched Parent Trap, and our parents were upstairs having dinner and we were downstairs, and we decided what would be a great idea is to recreate the scene from Parent Trap where they cut each other's hair.
Oh no.
So we both at the time had like little bob cuts. With bangs.
Oh no.
Except I decided to shorten her bangs.
I mean, it's a cool look these days.
It's a cool look. The micro bang. And I took a lot of hair out, and she did not do that much damage on me. I mean, she kind of messed up the ends, but I definitely did a much worse job on hers. Yeah. So sorry.
Yeah, oops. Oh, that's rough.
Was that funny? We don't know.
I was kind of funny.
Okay.
But we're still, this is our second episode. I'm sure the 3 people who listen will forgive us, especially because one of them's your mom, one of them's your boyfriend, and one of them's you.
Yeah. Well, we're assuming that my mom has listened to it at this point. She definitely has not listened to our first episode. Thanks, Mom. Thanks.
You're super cool. Can't wait to have dinner at your place.
So, what story from your childhood best friend would you like to share?
So I had a lot of friends growing up, mostly through church. So they were kind of forced friends.
The best kind.
Some of which I'm still kind of friends with. But the one I want to talk about is like the first real friend I made at school. Who, Lizzie, I hope someday you listen to this. And I hope this isn't too embarrassing because, okay, so neither of us, we've talked about this, neither Liz or I remember how we met. But we think it was probably through band. I mean, this was 3rd grade. It was a long time ago.
Through band in 3rd grade?
We were in band, yeah.
You trusted?
She played clarinet. I played flute.
Okay.
Destined to be friends. And one day, out on the field, she tried to convince me that she had fairy wings. But it was like, here, feel my back.
Oh.
Feel my back. A little, like, you could feel the shoulder blades, and it was like, you know what those are? Wings.
That's adorable.
And I was like, uh-huh. Sure they are. But we ended up being, like, really good friends. Like, we've had Lord of the Rings marathons. We used to go to the county fair together every year, trick-or-treating at her place, like, all the time. Still friends with her.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Nice. My childhood best friend, she and I met on the first day of preschool. Yeah. We were in an after-school program together. And she had a cat stuffed animal, and I had a dog stuffed animal.
Oh.
Which would be the opposite of the pets we now currently have.
Opposites attract.
Yeah, but we became friends after the first day. My mom said, I came home and I said, you have to be my best friend. And she and I were best friends for a really long time. And I was just thinking about her the other day because I remember being at her house once, and she had an older brother, and I had a younger sister. And so my younger sister and I played with Barbies for much longer than a child plays with Barbies for.
Yeah.
And I remember going over to Courtney's house. Whatever. I remember going over to Courtney's house, and she and her brother cut the hair off of a Barbie, and I was like traumatized that they would do this to like this poor innocent Barbie.
You have a lot of hair cutting memories.
Oh, well, my best memory from childhood is also with Courtney, and Courtney had a pool, which was the bomb.
Yeah.
And one time after swimming, I took, we were going to an Easter egg hunt party thing after, and her mom was going to drive me. And we went swimming, we got out of the pool, and I had really long hair at the time, like to my elbows. And I took a, like, 1-inch sized round brush with plastic bristles.
Oh, and then you did
I rolled it all the way up to my scalp. And then was like, oh, funny. Let me unroll it an inch. Well, no, because the chlorine in the hair had decided that they loved brush.
Yeah.
And so I had to be driven to another person's house with a round brush stuck in my hair about 2 inches from my scalp.
Yeah.
And the moms of my suburban town spent about 4 hours with oil, mayonnaise, peanut butter, detangler, like all of them working. And then after like 4 hours, they would come in like waves. I was sitting in someone's bathroom, and they would just come in waves with different products to try and get this brush out of my hair. And we had moved it down. They moved it down about another inch, and then they just had to cut it. They just had to cut it out. So that's how I got bangs.
With all that product in your hair, you sound like some sort of like Midwest delicacy. Like we got some mayonnaise,
and some eggs,
and some peanut butter on top. Gonna deep fry it. Nice. These are all a different best friend of mine growing up, Cass, we were all in the same D&D group, Dungeons and Dragons.
When you were how old?
Well, we didn't start playing D&D until high school, but we all became friends in, like, 3rd grade.
You just made it sound like you were a 3rd grader playing D&D.
Well, to be fair, I was, but not with these people.
Okay.
But Cass and I met because we had a similar hobby on the playground, which was licking our fingers and chasing boys until they screamed. We would just, like, corner them on the playground and, like, licked fingers out, like, until, like, there was one boy in particular who would scream like nothing else, and we were just, I don't want to say into that, but, like, we were just, like, that was our thing, was we would chase boys.
Mm-hmm. With yeah, I'm not going to say it, but yeah.
With our cooties, pretty much.
Yeah. I remember Courtney and I were in the same after-school program for a while, and there was a kid who I will not name because it's an embarrassing story, who used to go into the bathroom, and for some reason he would sing. And it was like a little portable room that we were all in. Yeah. So, it had a bathroom and had a kitchen, but it was pretty small. Yeah. And so, like, if he was in the bathroom singing, you could hear it in the whole portable. So we would all just, like, we would normally all get to go to we'd all have to go to the bathroom, and then we'd go out to the playground together. Yeah. And so we would, like, wait in line by the door, and you just listen to him sing. And we would.
Was he good? What was he singing?
Was he, like, we just mocked him for it, like,
Gregorian monk?
Which is something that's mean, considering that only a few years later in that same portable, I choreographed moves to Cheetah Girl songs. So.
Oh man, do you remember any of those sweet, sweet moves?
Oh yeah, because in one of the Cheetah Girl songs, I believe it's Cinderella, they go, I don't want to be no Cinderella sitting in the, and then shoulder brush off, dark, cold, dusty cellar.
That sounds like too long of a shoulder. You need to work on your choreography. You weren't never going to get onto So You Think You Can Dance with choreography like that. You need to step it up.
I used to spend so many hours doing that.
Oh, wow.
I also used to...
Oh, that actually reminds me. Liz and I also used to choreograph dances together.
I mean, who doesn't?
That's true.
Who doesn't?
But we would, like, for real, like, write it down.
Oh, yeah.
And we actually took some dance classes together. She does ballet still.
Oh, okay,
we took a beginner hip-hop class together.
So a little more advanced.
And a beginner tap dance.
Okay.
But no, they were awful. They were just really bad. And I think we did it to a Rascal Flatts song. I can't remember which, but...
I mean, is there any other ones except Life is a Highway?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, there are. No. You do not listen to enough Rascal Flatts. God bless the broken road.
Oh, I do know that.
There's so many. Oh my god, I got, like, all the lyrics in my head still.
Well, Courtney was there for one of my most, like, traumatic childhood incidents, which was at this after-school program, Why Kids?
Why?
For YMCA.
But why kids?
Why? Kids? And so we had over the summer, we'd be there all day.
So wait, is it supposed to be YMCA? Why? Like,
no, like the YMCA.
Yeah, I know, but, like, is it supposed to be a question? I mean, if it's why kids.
No, it's the
No,
letter
I disagree.
Y.
I think it's the word.
So you did not walk past the steel door to the letter Y Kids every day for 6 years.
The bunker that was
the bunker Y that was Y Kids. So many things happened there. So one of the things was they would keep us there in the summer, and it would be all day. So, like, I mean, it would be from, like, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. So they'd have to find something to do with all of us. Yeah. And we could only play outside for so long. It gets really hot in my hometown. This summer it was 113 one day. So they had a theme day. They had 1950s day. And my mom has always been really good at sewing. So she quickly made me a poodle skirt that I could wear.
Cute. Were those real?
Circle skirts were real. I don't know about the poodles.
But did anyone put poodles on them in the 50s?
I had a poodle skirt.
I mean, no, I did too at, like, when my school had a sock hop. But
we'll look this up later. So I wore my poodle skirt, and we were dancing to 50s music, and Courtney was there, and Courtney wore capris.
Ugh.
I mean, she looked good, but like in my mind, she looked like a greaser kind of look.
Oh, okay.
Which I didn't know that was the look we were going for. So I wore a freaking poodle skirt, and I was dancing in the middle of the room. My skirt fell down in front of everyone, and no, I was not wearing shorts because I was a small idiot child. And I'm not, okay, so that's bad.
Yeah.
Like 2 hours later, we were on the playground. I'm wearing the same skirt, and it falls again while I'm on the monkey bars. So the skirt drops like 6 feet.
No offense to your mother, but
it was held up with Velcro. So.
Oh, that's too bad. Oh gosh. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I luckily never was pantsed or anything, like. But one time, this happened with Elizabeth. We spent a lot of time together growing up. It was in middle school. We were running on the playground, and I had a purse. Because I was, like, in 6th grade and, like, wanted to be an adult, so I needed a purse.
I want to haul this thing around.
So I had this little purse, and we were running. No, we might have been walking. And this, I think this, I can't remember if it was, no one's gonna know, Vinny or AJ.
Okay.
Who runs past, hits him right in the crotch on the backswing. He just runs forward, like, in pain.
I was at a summer camp, and we were playing Capture the Flag, and this is with drama kids, so no one's that great.
Yeah, no one's
running.
an athlete.
And the best part was that we play at dusk, so it was harder to kind of see everyone.
Oh, okay.
And it was in the woods, and I was running, and I, like, for once in my life was running. I had the flag, and what did I do? I was looking behind me to make sure no one was chasing me, and there had been, like, a massive fallen redwood that I just, like, at the hips took me out. And I flew over.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yep.
Oh, that's rough.
Almost as bad as my Healy incident.
Oh, that's true, though that was much more recent.
And much more blood.
Yeah. Oh. So another good, like, tale from my childhood that involved, like, my friends growing up, the same group of friends who later became the D&D group is how we refer to ourselves, is that they used to always throw me a birthday party, which was sweet.
That's
and
nice.
It'd always be, like, a surprise party, but they did it, like, every year.
On your birthday?
On my birthday. So it was never much of a surprise, but it was very sweet. And I remember a few things have happened over the years. My birthday's pretty close to Halloween, so it was often a dress-up costume kind of thing.
Nice.
But one year it was at Liz's house. And so they brought me in, walked me in the house, walked me down past to the dining room where everyone was sitting down, and they all yell, "El gato es en fuego," which if you don't know, any Spanish means the cat is on fire.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was a little confused.
Which is like a weird thing to yell at a surprise party.
Well, that was the surprise.
Yeah. Actually, I think it was Mi gato es en fuego was my cat, which I think, looking back, could have been an innuendo of some sort that we just didn't pick up on.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, we were weird. We were a heck of a group who have stuck together still. Like, now that we're all about to graduate from college soon.
Wow. Yeah, this was not really a mistake I made. More of a bad on my friend's part. Yeah. But now I have an irrational fear based off of this. And my
excuse you.
My rational fear is that I will be invited to something.
Invited
to something, and no one will be there.
Oh no.
Okay. So now that I've told you that this is based on real life, let me explain.
Oh, friend.
I had a friend. I have a friend still.
Oh.
He's still around. And he once invited me over. His girlfriend was long distance, and she was super cool.
Yeah.
And he invited me over said, she wasn't super long distance. She lived like 2 hours away.
Which is really long.
Which is long for if you're just hanging out with like a friend.
I mean, it can still be long distance.
Yeah. So, she was 2 hours away, and so, he said, "Hey, she's coming over tomorrow, and we wanted to like hang out and like watch movies and like chill. Do you want to come over her best friend is coming with her, so we don't want her best friend to be awkward third wheel.
Okay.
And I was like, sounds good. I'll chill with everyone.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I like friends. So that was like 24 hours before. He's like, come over to my house at like 3. It's like, cool. Awesome. See you there. And I'd work at 5, and I was like, whatever, I'll just stop by for a little bit. So I go over to his house, and I didn't text him or anything because I was like, we made a plan like 24 hours ago. If something changed, he'd let me know. So I knock on his door, and it's just he and his dad, who doesn't like me.
Oh.
Watching a baseball game together on the couch. And I don't like sports, so it wasn't like I wanted to necessarily join in.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, hey. And he's like, oh, hi. I was like, did I imagine this scenario? Like, did I make this all up? And he was like, oh, she got really sick this morning and couldn't make it. I was like, and you didn't let me know and you let me come over here? So not only did this happen once.
Oh, you're kidding.
No. So like a few months later, he said he was having a party, and his parties are always super fun, and I was going to get off work, and my friend was in town from college visiting, and so we were like, he said, I'm having people over, starts at 9. I said, cool, I get off of work at 9, we'll head over. So we got there around 10.
Yeah, normal time for a party.
Normal time for a party. It was just he and his girlfriend there. Because the 10 other people they invited, like, could not come.
And they
but
didn't.
He didn't tell us, even though he knew.
Are you still friends with him? I mean, he's still alive by the sound of it, but, like, you're still friends?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Because he's nice to me. Like, the first time when I came over for movies, he made me food. He made me a quesadilla, which was nice. I wasn't lactose intolerant at the time, but wasn't lactose intolerant at the time. And the second time, like, he gave us a beer, but then we're like, we're not going to drink a beer and hang out for...
Just chill.
This is weird, so...
That's
awful. I now have an irrational... That's
a very rational... I think it's only irrational, like, if it's like, oh, I am uncomfortable going into the big stall in restrooms.
You are?
Yeah. Yeah, you know the big one that's for, like, disabled people? Like,
why?
Because I'm afraid that someone who actually needs it is going to show up, and then I'll be that jerk. That's an irrational fear.
Yeah.
Yours is very rational.
I mean, that's a rational fear. There's a bathroom
It's
stall.
Never happened to me.
There's a bathroom stall on campus that says, leave this stall open for us cripples. That someone has written in red Sharpie on the wall.
That's, wow.
Mm-hmm. So, that seems rational. I have an irrational fear of butterflies or moths being all up around my ears and my neck.
Oh.
And that did happen to me once. But it wasn't like they did anything.
Yeah, they just hung out.
They were just around me, and now I'm scared of them.
That's, yeah.
I also have an irrational fear of old people falling down in front of me. And then I cannot help them, which has happened so many times. And, like, when you're least expecting it, an old person falls in front of you.
Always.
Like, I would get on the subway, and I'd be on the subway, and, like, an 80-year-old guy would come on the subway, and I'd be like, oh, no, someone please stand up and give him a seat. So this one time I was watching this guy who comes on, and this person stands up and is like, oh, here, you can have my seat. And he's like, no, it's okay, it's fine. But it was so packed, he, like, couldn't grab onto anything, and the train started, and he just, like... fully fell. And I wasn't close enough to do anything, but I still felt so responsible.
Oh,
no. The worst was that I was like a block away from my building, and a woman I could see from across the street fell down in the middle of the street.
Oh.
And like 5 or 10 people came like rushing forward to help her.
And you
I
just
was like
kept
a block
walking?
away. No, I was a block away, but I was like, I am responsible for this woman falling in the street. This is my fault. This is my fault.
Oh, wow. That's okay.
Those are my irrational fears.
That's fair. I mean, I'm just a very nervous person, so it's hard to narrow down, like, one irrational fear. But I think probably my biggest is that everyone secretly hates me.
That is pretty irrational.
Yeah.
I used to think that my sister and my mom were aliens.
Like, legitimately?
That they were like these octopus people, and anytime that I saw them, they were human, and anytime around the corner, they were aliens, and I used to try and catch them.
So you had, like, a premonition of Octodad?
Yes. Yes. Except with just
That's
like,
incredible.
Yeah. So, I'm convinced they're human now.
Are you really, though?
Yeah, I used to honestly, like, hide behind a door and then do, the quick look to see if they were quick look to see if they were aliens when I wasn't looking.
Oh, that's good.
I've only had one. There was a moment when I was at camp where we honestly, I think, thought aliens were invading. And I don't know why the fear was so real.
Are you sure they weren't?
No. This is what happened. I'm going to set the scene for you. So we're at summer camp, and I'm with a bunch of theater people. So again, big imaginations.
Big.
So there's always one night where we would go out and we would actually camp outside versus like in our cabins, and we'd bring all of our stuff out there, and so we're all laying outside in the grass, and we have someone's like normally talks to us about like astronomy and like stuff.
Here are the stars.
Yeah, theories of the universe, whatever. And all of a sudden, we're all laying out there, and there's this huge like noise, and in the distance there's this massive flash of green light, and it like because we're all laying on our backs, and it just like lights up above us, and we're all like, what the heck?
That's weird.
And a couple seconds later there's another and more green light that looks closer, and we're all like then there's a third that happens, and then the director of the camp is like, okay everyone, like we don't know what's going on, like grab your stuff, because all the power goes out.
Oh.
And they're like, okay, pick up your stuff. We're going to go back. We don't know what's happening. We're going to go back to the cabins. We're going to make sure everyone's here and okay, whatever. So we're all standing. Now we're standing. We're all holding our sleeping stuff. We're, like, confused and afraid. And it's super dark. And we have flashlights and stuff, but it's so dark.
Yeah.
We're up in the Santa Cruz Mountains. And in the distance, there's this light. And it wasn't moving.
Okay.
And my friend becomes convinced that it is something. Yeah. And she goes,
it's a UFO.
She goes, what is that? And we were like, what? She's like, what is that? So then we all become like transfixed on this light in the distance, which was a plane, but it was just coming towards us. So the light was, but that was the creepy thing. The light started getting brighter and brighter and brighter. Yeah. And we're like, this is how we go.
We're dead.
This is it. It turned out that someone had hit a telephone pole. They were fine.
Okay.
But they had knocked out the power in the telephone pole, which it had, like, and subsequently blown out the other lights, and then blew out the lights to the camp.
Okay.
But we were crying at one point. We were so scared of the light in the distance. Like 16. So, like, the appropriate age to be crying at camp over mysterious lights in the distance.
I highly recommend for our listeners to go back and keep in mind that the people at this camp were 16 when you re-listen to the story.
Okay, ages like 12 to 18, in fact. So there were a lot of us who were very, very afraid. I couldn't watch E.T. at camp because I was too afraid of E.T. Wow. And I was 16. That was the same camp. Same summer.
Dang.
Yeah. There was a lot of things that we were at this one camp that was we didn't know how old it was, but it was very it was more than 10 years old, so it was creepy to us.
Of course.
And my friends really wanted to have a seance.
Oh no.
And they did.
Don't do seances.
Okay.
Here's an important message to the youths out there, to everyone listening: don't do seances.
Don't do seances, and don't tell other people you're going to do seances, because what happened was, like 8 of them went up to this creepy building, and a bunch of the counselors, a bunch of them found out the kids are going up to the creepy building after hours, whatever. Yeah. And so they just messed with them and like scratched on things, and they started slamming doors and like dragging sticks along the outside of this cabin, and they like ran out crying.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Again, they were also probably 16.
I would cry. I would cry if someone did that now.
Oh, I watched Lost and I cried.
I didn't cry at Lost, but I don't watch scary movies.
I watched The Walking Dead and I cried because I'm so scared.
That's fair. One time when we were camping at family camp, my two brothers were sharing a tent, and my mom, and they were being noisy. Mm-hmm. So my mom went out and scratched at the tent, pretending to be a bear.
I mean, okay, the other night I was home alone, and and there's a lot of windows in my house. We don't have curtains, and that really bothers me. And I always ask my mom if we can get curtains. So I'm sitting, and I'm home alone, and it's dark, and it's like 11, and I hear in the backyard something on the fence. But it was so, and I know there's a stray cat in the neighborhood, but it was so, and so I was like, is that the other cat? It was so heavy and so loud, and then you could hear the fence. Our fence is kind of loose because we live on a hill, and everything is settling and whatever. And
it's the wolf man.
And it was like shaking back and forth, and so I was like, I like get up stealth, I'm like crouched really low so no one can see me in the window. I grab my phone. I start running towards the stairs, and I'm like, I'm ready to dial 911. Yeah. So instead I call my mom. Then I'm calling my mom, and I'm on the phone, and I'm like, I think there's someone in the backyard. It honestly sounds like someone just got their way through the fence and is in the backyard. And one of my rational fears is that I will look out the window and there will be a person standing there.
No, I have the same thing.
They're not doing anything. They're just standing there.
That's even creepier.
And I'm scared, yeah.
Okay, so I lock up classrooms as my job, and there's little windows in the classrooms, and I have to turn off the light and lock the door, and I'm always afraid there's going to be someone there looking up.
So I have my rational fear that someone's going to be there, and then I can hear, like, walking across the deck. And I'm like, my mom didn't pick up the phone, and I'm like crouched down, ready. I grab a broom, and it's two just massive raccoons walking across my deck at like 11 p.m. Yeah. And I was ready to call the police. Yeah. Although, another story, one time the police came to my door, and I thought they were a burglar. And you will ask, why did you think this? Well, they knocked on the door at midnight. Well, why would you think a burglar would knock on the door at midnight?
To see if anyone's home. I hear it's a normal thing for burglars to do. It's to knock.
Don't tell me that. That freaks me out even more. Okay, it was just the police, which just shows you how nice of a town I live in. That there's a knock on the door at midnight. I pick up my bow.
Yeah.
I go to my mom's room. It's like, Mom, there's something going on.
It's a real bow. It's a compound bow. Anne-Marie does archery, so it's a real bow.
I pick up my bow, and I go to my mom's room, I'm like, there's someone at the door. And it was the police in my mom's trunk of the car had been open since she had come home at like 7 p.m. and it was midnight, and they were just making sure her car hadn't been broken into. And it hadn't. We just left it open. That was an adrenaline rush.
Yeah, that's incredible. So, just to wrap it all up, don't be afraid. Get over it.
It's not aliens.
It's not aliens.
There's not a man in the backyard.
There's no one in the window. There's no one in your backyard.
Every day. That's what we tell ourselves every night. There's no one in the backseat of my car, even though I've checked 6 times. Yeah, I know there's no one there.
Yeah, so just there's no need to be afraid. Hold on to your.
You know what I do? This is my advice, even though we are not professional advice givers.
We are not professional anything.
We're not professional.
Do not this is just
This is just what I do.
Yeah.
I have to pass through walk past a dark hallway on my way to the bathroom in my house.
Yeah.
And that hallway always scares me when it's late at night. So what I do is I imagine my favorite, normally a fictional person.
Yeah.
Lately it's been Sam Wilson, the Falcon from Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Awesome.
And I imagine Sam Wilson with me as I go to the bathroom, and he goes, hey, it's okay, there's nothing scary down there. And then I'm like, hey, thanks, Sam. And then I can go to the bathroom and go back into my room without wanting to pee myself on the way to the bathroom because I'm so scared of this darkened hallway.
Nice.
So just take your favorite, your
favorite
Ronald
fictional,
Weasley's, your whoever, and just imagine them with you as a comforting person. I'm not scared because this imaginary person is with me. Wow, that sounds lonely.
No,
a lonely life.
That's good advice. That's not sad at all.
All right. So we hope you have a week that only has one mistake in it.
Yeah, we hope that you have trouble remembering what that mistake was.
Yeah.
We hope that you had a happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And if you think it's a ridiculous holiday celebrating genocide, then I hope you had a good Thursday.
And posted about it a lot on Facebook.
Yeah.
Please comment or rate
and subscribe on iTunes.
The rate and
we have a YouTube channel that's the same name, Young and Naive, if you want to listen on there. Maybe someday we'll be able to post cool extra content.
Yeah, we have a Facebook page you can go like. I will be posting a picture of 10-year-old me tonight.
Oh, awesome.
Which is in reference to our last podcast, and if you haven't listened to that, go
do
listen
that
to it if you want to.
And then you have a Twitter where people can follow you, right?
I do. Anne-Marie Ita. That's ANNMARIEITA.
Nice. And then I don't have a Twitter. So if you want to follow me anywhere, just scream my name really loudly. Really, in the middle of class.
That's probably the best time to do it.
Yeah, I'm sure. So,
all right, outro music. Boots and cats and boots and